Good morning, everybody. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful, sunny Wellington, New Zealand. I'm sure some of you who are in all the cold countries around the world can see behind me the sun shining. We are just having the most fantastic summer. But I'm excited to connect with you today. And I have with me a very special guest, Laura Helen, all the way in London. Laura, welcome.
Hi.
And we're going to be talking to you today about the benefits of taking part in the HerStory conference. Now, I woke up this morning to an amazing message from a good friend of mine in America. Miri, you so made my day. So Miri is based in Nevada in the United States, and she sits on the board of the women's voters. So they have secured a venue. We're going to start announcing our venues, but the first one to get a venue is in Nevada. Northern Nevada University has agreed to sponsor the event. So I woke up to this news. I'm feeling really, really excited. And we just want to talk to you about the benefits of partaking in the conference and what this can actually do for you and for your life. Now, Laura was one of the first people to see the vision, to see the potential, and she said yes straight away. And Laura, I want you just to share with everybody why.
Okay, not a problem at all. So my name's Laura Helen. I'm a busy boss mum who travels the world while schooling my children. And it was quite a funny journey. So me and the family just sat down, set all our goals, and I was really focused on this one. I need to speak more globally. I don't want to just be doing the same place across the US. I need to be doing more. And then I turn on social media and there's your post saying, I'm looking for these women, we're doing this crazy stuff. And I thought, okay, that's got to be some kind of sign right there. And as soon as we connected, and she's like, I'm going to reach 1 million people. And I thought, okay, this is big enough that it's crazy. I could get on board with this. And then she's like, I'm going to do it like this. And when she broke it down, 1,000 events, 1,000 women attending, I was like, okay, that's totally doable. 1,000 people in a room, that's totally achievable. So what seemed like this massive, crazy goal of 1 million women, to start with, I was a bit like, oh, okay, 1,000 events with 1,000 women. Okay, now I'm on board. 100 speakers. Wow, how many people are we going to bring together? Her vision very quickly just blew up in my mind, and I started having all these ideas, and we've been back and forth since, and it's just been an incredible journey. I know this is going to impact so many people. I know it's going to uplift people, and to have 100 speakers at an event, what it's going to do for those speakers to be sharing the stages with these incredible people, to be seen as the go-to expert, to be seen as the leaders leading whatever it is that their niche is. I think it's going to empower and take all these incredible ladies up a whole nother level, to be able to say they're part of this global conference. The fact that you don't have to just speak at one, if you can, you have the opportunities where you can reach out to different events worldwide. You can go from a speaker to an international, global, worldwide speaker. Like, you blew my mind with your ideas, and I just was like, yes, sign me up, let's make it happen, let's do this. I'm probably almost as fast as you now, like, okay, new ideas, let's do this.
It's been really interesting. I rarely meet people who operate at my energy level, but you have just so blown me away. So tell everybody exactly what you did, because you've already recruited speakers. How many do you have? How did you do it? Because there's some people who are sitting on the fence thinking, nice idea, I'm not sure if I can pull this off. What have you done, and how are things going?
So I've been participating in lots of different women's groups, boss mum groups on Facebook. And as soon as you came across this idea, I was like, okay, let's see what's out there. So I put out there, if I was running an event, I need 100 women speakers in London, who'd be interested? I have not stopped since. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to need to get to know these people, because I want to make sure we have good quality speakers that come from the heart. They're not there to try and, I don't want ego people, or people with heart. So I started interviewing all these incredible ladies that are interested, and to the point my calendar's full for the next 2 months, and I've had to make it so I now do 2 interviews a day to try and fit everyone in, to get all this energy. And then I've got people go, what are you doing? I do this. I'm a photographer. I do videography. So it's all coming together. It's just putting it out there, keep speaking it. Every time I do an interview, it's like, this is the HerStory Empowerment Event Conference. Like, if you know anyone, let's get involved. And oh my gosh, it's been such a whirlwind.
Yeah, and what people need to realize is that there are opportunities here, not just for you as a speaker, but for your business. You know, for instance, we're going to go and look for women in the food business, for the catering. We are going to go and look for videographers and photographers who are women. The ripple effect of the type of skills we need to pull the conference off is massive. You know, yesterday I did a webinar with a young woman she's in Bend, Oregon, and she's a social media expert. And she said, Gertrude, I can run with social media. So we recorded a webinar where we're sharing exactly what we're going to do to roll out the event and what you need to do to roll out your event. So you're not going to be doing this in isolation. You're not doing it on your own. You're going to have a team of experts giving us information, content, the how-to. I also have another lady who I'm doing a webinar with. We're going to do a series of webinars on how to prepare for your speech. What are you going to do when you prepare for a 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? So there are a lot of giving, powerful, creative women in this group who are giving off their knowledge, they're giving off their skills. So if you've never spoken before, don't be afraid to step up. This is our time. And that's what really excites me about this event. And like you said, Laura, you could have published a book and you want to go on a book tour. And you say to me, Gertrude, I'd love to come to New Zealand, Australia, maybe go to Australasia, since Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia are so nearby. We now have events in every single one of those locations. So instead of coming all the way to New Zealand and, you know, doing a book tour just in one country, you could do a chain of countries and really make it worth your while. What else, Laura?
I wrote a whole list when you said, what do I think valuable about this?
Yes.
So you've got, like you said, this powerful network. You're now linked to this incredible, powerful network of just powerhouse women. Networking is going to be just off the hook. Obviously, you're going to improve your speaker profile, going global. You're going to make a huge impact. You're getting training. You're getting feedback. You're helping us tidy up our niche and our message, exactly what we're trying to put out there to perfect our talks the best we can be. We're going to be doing workshops. So we're going to help with the trainings to get you on board for the workshops. I personally, the speakers I've been connected with so far, have been given them my 7 days to fearless challenge. So if they're not the most comfortable speaking on stage in front of the camera, in their own skin, speakers that are put on a speaker persona, I wanted to shake that off and become themselves and just be truly fearless in their own skin. So I've been giving that out to the speakers, which I'm happy to share, which is a program I normally sell, but I want this to be so awesome. And then all the different things that come in with being the speaker. So we're going to be putting money in towards so we can all be fed all through the event and have food and water. What I thought, together, we thought would be a great way to do that is when we have the workshops, the money you put in, you kind of get the workshops in replacement for that. So you're not having to pay out for the workshops, because there's going to be other incredible ladies that might have the answer to a problem you have, yes. Whether it's in your business, relationships, balancing. I coach parents, so trying to balance life between parents and work. There'll be a workshop that you want to go to. So instead of then having to pay as a speaker, you'll have kind of like vouchers that you've already created from paying towards the event to get your food and water supplied all throughout the event. I've got so many things.
I'll just jump in here before you continue with your list. You talked about the speakers getting feedback. A lot of times you get on stage, you give a presentation, and you never quite know how well you did, what points really resonated and hit home, or how you can improve. So you must all be aware that when people come into the room to listen to you speak, they're going to get a feedback form before they sit down. And we are asking people to assess the speakers and give them feedback anonymously. And the reason why we're doing this is so that you can see your blind spots. You know, a lot of times you stand up in front of people and you think you've communicated, you've really come through, or you might have said something that has completely changed somebody's life and you're not even aware of it. So we're going to be asking the audience to fill out a feedback form and tell you areas where they think you could have improved. Maybe you speak too fast. Maybe you have an accent and they didn't quite hear what you were saying. But the most important thing is, if you do one presentation for 5 minutes and you get feedback, by the time you do your 10-minute presentation, you've already managed to tweak it and refine it and take into account what the audience is saying to you. So that by the time you leave the conference and you've had those 4 speaking exposures for the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and your 1-hour workshop session, you will leave this conference better than you were before you came.
And I love that, the fact that you're going to get feedback and help us grow through the process. I think that's and obviously you're going to be seen as the go-to expert in your niche because you're going to refine that. So then people are going to be, they have a problem, they have a client that needs what you do, you're going to be the person that comes to mind, which I think is really exciting.
And the other thing that we're doing with all of the content that we're collating and collecting during the conference, like I said, everything is going to be recorded, including your workshops. We are creating a library database that people who didn't even attend the conference can get access to and pay for going forwards. And you are going to get a percentage of that. So imagine, instead of you trying to sell your workshop or your course or to find clients on your own, you have a database where 1 million women have attended a conference somewhere, because we're going to catalog all of the areas. It could be business presentations. It could be presentations on how to speak. It could be presentations on how to use social media. Whatever that is, we are creating a knowledge base that will allow 1 million women to have access to you. I think people already need to get this and how big it can be for you potentially going forwards.
That is huge. I didn't even know that. That is totally awesome. And like you say, you're going to have photographs, photographers and videographers. So for those of you who are trying to get more speaking gigs, if you can have those really nice professional photos of you on the stage in front of this massive crowd of 1,000 people, the best photos are from behind where they can see you and then this big audience all engaged with you, getting them to raise their hand and do all this stuff. Your profile, suddenly you're just seen as the speaker and people will be picking you up for even more events. Like, whoo!
And another idea that came up this weekend is that HerStory Publishers was born. So a lot of you might know that I have a publishing company in New Zealand, but we are going to collate the women's stories into books. So if you are speaking in a session around domestic violence, we'll probably get the stories of the 10, 15 women that presented in that session and collate that into a book. So if you don't have a book of your own already, again, here's an opportunity for you to get published. We will ghostwrite the book for you, and then you can order the book from the HerStory Conference publishing company. And whenever you go and speak next, you've got something to give your audience.
And you guys are creating a magazine as well, is that right?
Yes. So the magazine's really important. The theme of the first magazine is making the impossible possible. And I'm asking everybody to write a 1,000-word article and email it to me. Please put in the subject line article so that I'm plowing through hundreds of emails at the moment. Now, think of something in your life where you made the impossible possible. Make sure that you write in line with the theme of what we are talking about in the first edition. We're going to have to cut off at a certain point. Probably going to publish just the first 100 women. So please get those stories to me as soon as you can. Our next edition, we came up with a really good title. I was speaking to another young woman yesterday, and the second edition is going to be Your Own Kind of Beautiful.
That's nice.
So how do you show up as you, as gorgeous as you are, we want stories about that as well. So if you miss the first edition, I told you the cutoff is 100 articles. So it's first come, first serve to get published in the very first magazine. So please get those articles to me as fast as you can.
Absolutely. What an opportunity. I know I've done that already. Did it on the day. I can't sit on anything for long. I just have to take action and make it happen.
Now, Laura, you've also been doing something incredible in terms of connecting with the other women in the group and helping them. Let's talk a little bit about the social impact aspect of the conference. All of you are aware that wherever we're having a conference, we need to have a social impact around women, around children, around the elderly. And the other day, I was speaking to a few ladies in Florida who are trying to raise $140,000 for a nonprofit organization that is having a summer camp in 38 different locations. And I connected Laura with them because she sounds like somebody who has some brilliant out-of-the-box ideas. Tell us a little bit about what you suggested for that nonprofit and how you think you can help them.
So I want to, because it's for kids, so we want to reach grown-ups, parents and kids. So I personally have an amazing daughter who's just turned 10. She's the author of 5 published books. She's a worldwide speaker, shared the stage with incredible people. So she wants to jump on board and help them share a message, get messages out there, help use her influence to help impact them. She's also shared the stage with Caleb Maddox, who are friends with Maddox. They're actually in Florida. He became a millionaire by 16. He's a motivational speaker and kid coach. And he has published loads of books and done all this crazy, amazing stuff. So they're big influencers in the kind of kid and parent world. Yes. So I'm trying to bring all them together so we can really help them get out there and make that impact.
Oh, fantastic. And so you see, ladies, this is what can happen when we start collaborating. And that is the underlying theme of this conference. It's all about collaboration. It's not about me standing up there and shining. It's about all of us shining at the same time. Because I think we shine the brightest light when we shine together. So collaboration is one of those things. So if you're struggling with anything, please email me, email one of the country leaders. You now know Laura. She is heading London. And Laura, I might persuade her to pick another location in the UK. I don't know if that is feasible, but London is big enough on its own. But
I'm happy to help cover the UK. That's not a problem for me.
Fantastic. So we got our first good news of a sponsored venue by a university in the United States. If you're in the US, I can connect you with the League of Women Voters. I know one of the women who sits on the board. She's the one who secured the free venue. Inbox me. Just remember that I am getting a lot of emails, so make clear in the subject line what it is you need from me. And that way my virtual assistant can just correlate all the common emails and we can send you information at the same time. Have we left anything out, Laura?
I don't think so. I'm just checking off my list. I think that's...
Oh, so am I. I think we've covered all the bases. No, one more thing. We want to take advantage of the 8th of March to get our message out and get our social media rolling. So we have designed t-shirts. They will be on the website. Fingers crossed the website goes up on Wednesday this week. Please pre-order a t-shirt and get a group of friends who are attending the conference, who are coming to the conference to order their t-shirts and meet, even if you meet in your home, whether you find a little venue, a coffee shop somewhere, take pictures wearing the t-shirts and let's start using the hashtag HerStory Conference 2019 and push that out through social media so it drives traffic back to our website. And this, when I was talking to Laura earlier, I was saying it's a pity that we can't all order some pussy hats that we wear on the same day. But what we are going to do is start a program with women in Zimbabwe who know how to knit. We will supply them with wool and they will start knitting pussy hats for the conference. So if you would like to help a group of women in Zimbabwe to make an income, let me know and we can order all our pussy hats from one centralized place. and empower a group of women as well in the developing world. I'm so
Nice.
excited. I'm so excited. So much is happening. We'll be doing these 30-minute webinars regularly as something comes up that we can share with you and motivate you and inspire you. We're pushing this out so that you can be kept informed of what's happened. I will be announcing the list. In fact, I might as well do it now, of locations, places that I now have people to lead. We have Wellington, New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand, Christchurch, New Zealand, Tauranga, Hastings, New Zealand, and Queenstown. In Australia, we have Sydney, the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Brisbane, Melbourne, Cairns, Newcastle, Perth, Canberra, Adelaide, Darwin, and Hobart. We have Singapore, this is now Asia, Kuala Lumpur. In Malaysia, in Indonesia, we have Bali and Jakarta. In the Philippines, we have Milan. In Vietnam, I hope I pronounced this wrong, we have Ho Chi Minh. In Thailand, Bangkok. In Japan, Sakata. In the UAE, we have Dubai. In Africa, we have Kenya. We have Mombasa and Nairobi in Kenya. We have Kampala in Uganda, Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. In Zimbabwe, we have Harare, Bulawayo, my hometown, my tiny hometown, Kwekwe. We have Bindura. In Nigeria, we have Lagos. In Zambia, we have Lusaka. In South Africa, another place that I so love to go, we have confirmed Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban. In Botswana, we have Gaborone. In Mozambique, we have Maputo. In Namibia, we have Windhoek. In the DRC, Kinshasa. We have Cameroon. We have Accra in Ghana. Sierra Leone. We just don't know the locations of those two yet. We have Cairo in Egypt. Casablanca in Morocco, and Mauritius. So Africa is representing.
Wow.
Please, anybody out there is in the diaspora and you know someone in those countries, add them to our group. In Europe, we have Barcelona, Spain. In Warsaw, Poland. I will be hosting a conference in Poland because I'm getting married to a guy in Poland. And if you time it right, you might come to my wedding because I'm trying to time the conference around the dates of my wedding as well. In Germany, we have Berlin and Frankfurt. In Greece, Athens. In the Netherlands, The Hague. In Sweden, we have Stockholm. In the United States, confirmed so far is Los Angeles, San Diego, Las Vegas, Seattle, Bend, Oregon, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Houston, Dallas, Houston, Texas, and Dallas. We have Denver, we have Pittsburgh, we have New York, Washington, D.C., New Orleans, Miami, Orlando, Tampa, Baton Rouge in the South, Burbank in California, and in Canada, we have Toronto, Calgary, and Vancouver.
Wow.
So I am just so excited that we have found leaders in all of these cities, and the dream to 1 million locations is happening as we speak. So I will publish the list of all of these locations with this video. Contact me if you want to know who is the chairperson and who's recruiting speakers in those cities, and I will connect you with them. So thank you so much for coming online this morning. We'll be doing these 30-minute webinars at least once a week, maybe several times a week, depending on what news we have to share with you. And Laura, thank you again for being one of the first people to come on board. I would like everybody to go onto YouTube and watch a video called How to Start a Movement. I think the guy who put up this video, his name is, and I'll quickly look for it, but I watched this video and it just blew me away. In fact, I will play it because it's not very long. how to start a movement. And I followed exactly what he said. And that's why we are having this conversation today. Because there were a few crazy people out there who saw the vision, who saw the potential, who decided to follow, but in following, they became leaders. It's the first person, people who jump in, who step in and say, I think I can do this. Just like you, Laura. You saw the potential in what this conference could be all about, and it inspired you to jump in feet first without even thinking twice. And that's how the organization is growing. That's how we're going to scale. And you are going to be working with some of the most phenomenal women on this planet. Please don't miss this opportunity to shine. So I'm going to share my screen. It's a 5-minute video, and watch it, understand it, step up and say, yes, this is what I want to do. I want to be a part of something that is bigger than myself, and let's make the magic happen. So, How to Start a Movement by Derek Shivers. Can you see it, Laura?
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, at TED, we talk a lot about leadership and how to make a movement. So let's watch a movement happen, start to finish, in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons from it. First, of course, you know, a leader needs the guts to stand out and be ridiculed. But what he's doing is so easy to follow. So here's his first follower with a crucial role. He's going to show everyone else how to follow. Now notice that the leader embraces him as an equal. So now it's not about the leader anymore, it's about them, plural. Now there he is calling to his friends. Now if you notice that the first follower is actually an underestimated form of leadership in itself. It takes guts to stand out like that. The first follower is what transforms a lone nut into a leader. And here comes a second follower. Now it's not a lone nut, it's not 2 nuts. 3 is a crowd, and the crowd is news. So a movement must be public. It's important to show not just the leader, but the followers, because you find that new followers emulate the followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, and immediately after, 3 more people. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point. Now we've got a movement. So notice that as more people join in, it's less risky. So those that were sitting on the fence before now have no reason not to. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, but they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. So over the next minute, you'll see all of the those that prefer to stick with the crowd, because eventually they would be ridiculed for not joining in. And that's how you make a movement. But let's recap some lessons from this. So first, if you are the type, like the shirtless dancing guy, that is standing alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals. So it's clearly about the movement, not you. Okay, but we might have missed the real lesson here. The biggest lesson, if you noticed, did you catch it? Is that leadership is over-glorified. That yes, it was the shirtless guy was first, and he'll get all the credit, but it was really the first follower that transformed the lone nut into a leader. So as we're told that we should all be leaders, that would be really ineffective. If you really care about starting a movement, have the courage to follow and show others how to follow. And when you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first one to stand up and join in. And what a perfect place to do that, TED. Thanks.
Isn't that amazing?
Woohoo!
Such a simple illustration of what's happened, Laura. I'm not a nut anymore, so thank you.
No, we're a pair of nuts. Woo!
So have a fantastic day, everybody. We're back with you later in the week with more news, but it's all happening. I'm really excited this morning. Thank you, Laura.
No worries. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.